Welcome back. Well, conservatives are once again appalled by comments made by podcast host Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, in the latest episode, Tucker was critical of Dietrich Bonhoeffer, the anti-Nazi Christian evangelist executed by the Third Reich in 1945. Take a listen.
Because once you start calling people Nazis, we really have no choice but to start shooting them. To be Dietrich Bonhoeffer and sort of reach the end of reason or even Christianity, Bonhoeffer decided Christianity's not even, he was a Lutheran pastor. Christianity's not enough. We have to kill the guy. I'm not judging Bonhoeffer, who was a great man in some ways, but that's inevitable once we decide that people are Nazis.
So joining us now for more on all this is the CEO of the National Religious Broadcasters, Troy Miller. Troy, I mean, for people who aren't familiar with Dietrich Bonhoeffer, I mean, can you explain why Tucker's comments on this are so offensive?
Yeah, because for Christians, Dietrich Bonhoeffer was probably one of the biggest champions during World War II who was fighting the Nazis regime to annihilate the Jewish people. So Bonhoeffer was working with a number of folks within the Nazi regime really to stop this and to get rid of Hitler. So he was part of a plot to kill Hitler and hopefully bring this to an end.
Yeah, and I want to play a clip because we know the late Charlie Kirk has also spoken about Bonhoeffer. So take a listen to this.
We want 1,000 Dietrich Bonhoeffers. We're not going to say like we're going to create them. I want to find them and encourage them. That's it. Find and encourage. Find and encourage. That's it. Because I'm not going to like train people or I just want to find and encourage. I also like the Bonhoeffer because I never want to make anyone feel as if I'm being anything but honest. It's going to cost us something. God forbid our life like that, but eventually we're all going to have to go to heaven. And so Bonhoeffer is the example of, hey, I'm willing to sacrifice everything I have for God's purpose on earth.
Wow, ironic listening to those words, especially the last words that he said there. What do you make of the message that he just delivered?
Yeah, and what Charlie is calling for us to do is have the courage to live out and stand up against evil when we see it in the world. To have that and not to just sit back and not to be silent about it. That was one of the things he was so good at, was challenging people to live out. Dietrich Bonhoeffer lived out his faith. Tucker Carlson couldn't have been more wrong about Dietrich being anti-Christian. Dietrich was being deeply Christian in a time of war to protect millions of people, and Charlie's called us to be the same thing today.
Yeah, I mean, this is all coming on the heels of Tucker hosting self-proclaimed anti-Semite and white nationalist Nick Fuentes. And why is Tucker going down what many believe is to be this very dark path here in the last few weeks, months?
I don't know. I wish I had the answer to why he's going down that path, but I agree he is going down that path. And Tucker seems to really not understand what Christianity is all about. He seems to have a very shallow, very narrow, and quite honestly, very wrong view of Christianity when he thinks that Christianity, he recently said that Christianity was built on the New Testament and not the Old Testament, the Jewish Testament. He forgets that the New Testament didn't come together for about 200 years after all of those apostles had built Christianity. And so this idea that Tucker thinks that somehow Christianity is this sort of white supremacist group tells you that he is off base as far as you could be.
Before you go, I know that you're here in New York City for a very special reason, the National Religious Broadcasters launch of their Veteran Ministry Initiative. So tell us about that. Why is this so important?
It is so important because we're losing 17 veterans a day to suicide and to drug abuse and overdoses. These people have served our country with honor, with valor, with dignity. They have protected the very freedoms that we enjoy. And so we're asking churches across the country to reach out and start a veterans outreach ministry. Many of them have veterans in their churches. They stood up this last Sunday and recognized them. So we've created this initiative that has all the resources that these churches will need to bring to bear to help these veterans. Veterans will oftentimes have a hard time getting back into civilian life, but you know who they like to talk to? Other veterans. And Christian veterans in the church is the ideal place for them to be. Gives them hope, gives them a home, gives them a mission, and gives them purpose, and takes that loneliness that many of them feel away.
Just not an issue for the Veterans Administration, also something for our churches. What a great message. It's Veterans Day week.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us.